Have you seen these? ZOHD. ZOHD? ZOHD? Whatever it is, have you seen them? ZOHD Kopilot Lite. What is it? It's an autopilot system. Let me set the scene. This plane was an old yellow Cub from Hobby King, it's foam, and it was refurbished with a view to flying it FPV with a camera inside. So I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a camera in there. It's a Runcam Eagle, and I've got obviously VTX, and as you can see there's an antenna on the back there. You viewers sent me a message and said, John, if you fly that and you have a problem, then you're going to lose the plane. Get a basic flight control autopilot system and put it in there. Well, when I saw these were on Banggood, the ZOHD, however you want to call it, and these are only, it was £35 reduced. I don't know what the original price was, but they're £35. It might be £40. They keep reducing them and they keep shifting them. Now this is a little autopilot system. It's got a GPS and a flight controller and a little adjuster board. I'm not going to go through the how-to and how to set it up because you may have already looked and there's lots of videos covering it. But what I wanted to say, there's stuff on the market that will give you the ability to have stable flight, self-leveling, and return to home. And what it does, if you get lost or you get confused when you're out there flying, you can flick a switch and it'll turn around and come back and circle you. Up to you if you want to be brave and take off in FPV, but that's when things could go wrong. So sometimes take off, fly around, get into level flight, even put the return to launch on, then put your goggles on and away to go. But at least it gives you time to get in your chair, sit comfortable, and get yourself organised. One thing I found out about this, which was amazing, if I say you had it on, I haven't, but if I had it on this, or maybe the bigger version, bigger brother of this, sometimes I've thrown it and almost ended up crashing it because I have to throw right-handed. Well, that's my aileron and elevator stick. My right hand stick is the cyclic control. So I'm only on the throttle. So I throttle up, throw it up, and then I'm on the stick. I can't seem to throw it. Every time I throw it left-handed, it's in the ground. So I'm not even going to try. So I always just throttle up, chuck it up in the air, and then deal with the situation after. Not always a good thing. But on this, they have launch control. And quite simply, all you do is put it in return to launch and throw it up. When it detects it's moving, the prop starts spinning and away to go. And it will hold it in something like a 20-degree slope up. So that's a handy little feature for a little autopilot system. But there is no on-screen display, right? So there is no link to any FPV with this. It is purely an autopilot system. It's got manual mode. It has self-leveling mode, ideal for a beginner, and it's got return to launch. So if you're FPV in a plane and you want to put it on something like this, it'll be ideal because if you get yourself into a bit of a predicament, then you can flick a switch and you know it's safe and it's going to come home. You can put it in stabilize auto level if you're a bit nervous about being in full manual. And the plane will always stay level, so whenever you let go of the sticks, it'll always level out. Handy feature just to get the feel of it. Once you've flown around a few times, you'll just get on with it. A little bit of a safety blanket. Might not be for all. A little bit of a safety blanket. You can get iNav, and I know people are going to just have iNav. But you're going to pay £30 for an iNav board. £20 if you buy a cheap one. Then you have to buy a GPS unit, the pack, the GPS receiver. That's another £15. Unless you buy cheap, you might get one for a tenner. But when you start adding up all the cost, this is a nice little package ready to go. Just to bear in mind. It's because it's looking so nice, and I didn't want to risk breaking it or losing it. So I thought I can put the return to launch, give it a try, and fly around. Flick the return to launch, put my goggles on, make sure the video is all okay, and that's fine. If I want to take it off at a later date, then so be it. I'll take it off at a later date. I'm going to test fly it, FPV, from the cockpit, and I can't wait. Let's get over the common and test fly it. Here I am once again about Llantrys and Common. I don't know, it's a little bit windy. Adds to the excitement. Actually down in one piece. So flew it FPV, didn't take off with FPV, just flew it. It flew fine, no drama. I need to adjust the gains a little bit, and as you can see I've got the settings out. So once it's all set up, then I'll unplug that. And excellent position for the GPS, that works really well, and I can see the lights for the flight controller in there. The ZOHD flight controller, that's a big thumbs up. It works. You want a basic flight controller, it's absolutely perfect. It does what it's supposed to do, and yeah, it worked absolutely amazing. So really happy with that. Well, what do you think of that then? That was mind-blowing. It was only a test flight. I wasn't flying with the head tracker. I was using the for pan and tilt, I was using the sliders, and I got myself in a bit of a pickle. It was quite exhilarating. It was more nerve-wracking than I actually thought. It was windier than I would have liked, but it's not quibble about the wind. But it flew so nice, and with the flight controller, being able to have it in level flight and a little bit of a comfort zone. I didn't take off in FPV and I didn't land in FPV, but I promise I will do that, because I fully intend to fly this like a full size. I'm gonna taxi, I'm gonna take off, and I'm gonna land in FPV, and whatever happens, happens, because I feel that it's something I have to achieve. And the quality and visibility out of the windows was better than I expected, because I was expecting it to be a bit glazed and washed out with the sun and all that. But it wasn't the nicest of days, but visibility was good, and to be able to look out the window and look down, and you spend all the time looking out the sides. Wow, this takes it to another level. I've got a little canopy for my vampire jet. That's going to end in tears, isn't it? Like I said, I do promise I will take off and land in FPV. Just wanted to test it first. So I hope you enjoyed that, and like I said, there's loads coming up. So if you like what you see, subscribe. Remember, I don't get any money for this. It's not promoting anything, and there's no royalties. I don't get any, it's not monetized. I don't get anything for it. So if you like what you see, doing it for you to get you interested in the hobby and give you some ideas. So please subscribe, support the channel in that way, and I'd be eternally grateful. So take care, keep safe, and happy flying. Bye.